Yeah, man, sup, my purples? Welcome to the black hole. My name, BONANZA Beats. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the Polyend Tracker, straight out of Poland. Poland, which is a country whose heritage and history is rich of tracker-based music making. Let us have a look-see, shall we? Check them out right here. First glance, the first thing you notice, I thought this thing was slightly bigger. I thought it was at least like a A4 paper, you know what I'm saying? But it is not. It is like a sort of like a tablet, except it has these very nice push buttons, mechanical keyboard buttons, which to me is very important. I tried that tablet touch screen shit. I'm not much for touch screens at all. I need to push some buttons when I'm making music. Dangerous. It's like half the joy for me coming from a technological background, playing video games and all of that. Let me just try to give you a slight, I don't know how to explain the tactile feeling of this, but these buttons, they just feel so great. This is a major plus point for me right here. Maybe we can catch the sound. These pads here, kind of shitty, to be honest, 100% honest. 5 out of 10 amazing. Sometimes they double trigger, and sometimes they don't trigger at all. They feel very low quality compared to the rest of this, like the jog wheel right here. This is supreme, superb quality. Listen to this click here. Has some beautiful weight to it, and it just feels great to spin this jog wheel. I don't even think you can anticipate how good this jog wheel feels. So we're small, very portable, nice to bring. And right now I have this small power bank. Let me see how much. 5,200 billion milliamps. So this one is a small power bank right here, but a full charge on this will have you running for a while, a good while. So we're going to power it up. I always use it with this. Now, after we power it up, I'm going to show you the most important feature of all. Let me show you the most important thing. Hit File, Games, RIZZLA. Embarrassing. Obviously, any music machine that you can play RIZZLA on gets 10 out of 10 amazing from BONANZA Beats. You know it. Anyways, another thing about these buttons here, while they feel great, it feels a little bit like if you press them too far to the side, like they're about to jam or something. So it's like they kind of miss. Sorry about all the cat hair in here. Fuck. Anyways, you've seen the Polyend Tracker before. There's countless of videos on it out there. If not, let me run through it really quickly. You have your basic tracker workflow. If you're not familiar with it, it goes from the top and down. All of this stuff here is note information. Play C3, C3, play C3, play D3, D3, D3. So it runs from the top and down. Each of these tracks is monophonic. It can only play one sound at a time, and we have 8 tracks to work with in total. So it is a bit limited, and that is up to you if you find being limited is a, I don't know, there's this saying that the more limited you are, the more creative you get. I think that is bullshit, but it's a fun way, it's a fun and different way to make music. Let us see if we can load up a file here and it will show you something. I used to fiddle around with these trackers when I was a kid on the Amiga, and so if you know Fast Tracker for PC or Pro Tracker for Amiga, LSDJ2, I've covered that on my channel before. Check them out, check that video out. They work a little bit different, but what the computer-based trackers have in common is that most of them are sample-based. So you load up some samples, edit them, and you trigger them with these vertical tracks. This is one of the first more accessible ways to people with a computer at home to be able to put some of their own music together, you know what I'm saying? A lot of great music came from out of that. If you ever played an old PC game, you might have heard this crack-tro, this intro, this chiptune music that's in the beginning, like Cracked by Mr. Euphoria or some shit like that. Usually they had music that was made with trackers. You should check out my Amiga video and my Game Boy video for deeper coverage on trackers. What do we have here? So here we chopped up a drum break. We like it. We have this performance mode right here. You see I have stuff on all 8 of my tracks, almost. And you can do a little bit of effects in real time right here, like activate a few tracks. Now the red ones, that means that the red ones are going to be affected by the effect. And now we have the sample playback, we can reverse that. Delay. So even with a simple loop like this, you can have a lot of fun in the performance mode using these effects and shit. This is your general view in the pattern mode. Leftmost column, which note to play. Second column, which instrument or which sample. You have all these sample slots with different sounds loaded up into them. So on every one of these rows, you're telling it, all right, it should play this sound, this note, and where it should play it, where it should trigger it. So none of these tracks are tied to a specific sound. For example, you can have 10 different sounds playing in a row here. You're just telling it on a event basis, row by row, and it runs through them. Row 3 and 4, effects. It's pretty radical. Hold this key down and you can see all of the effects here. We have everything from volume panning, micro tune to glide, tempo, micro move, chance roll, random note, random instrument, all types of fancy shit. And what's nice about this, I mean, this is much more convenient. You would have to look it up in the manual or in the help section, usually on like Pro Tracker, for example, on the Amiga. Here it's typed out and it's very convenient, so you don't need to learn them by heart necessarily. You can just go through, and the same thing here. If we were to put an effect on this step here, it would trigger on only that step. So right now I have it set to S, which is slice, because this is the drum break right here. So you see S1, S4, S5, S2, S3 is chopped up. There's some different sample playbacks here. So for example, let's check out where we have our drum break. Stole a lot of these sounds from old mod files. There's our drum break. So you can see we have these slices here. I set it to slice mode and I slice the break up, and then I can tell it to play from any one of these markers here. So in practice, it's telling it play slice 1, play slice 4, play slice 5. Telling it which slice to play in the slice mode. That takes up one effect slot here. So you have to pick slice. Yeah, so you have 2 effect slots. You can trigger 2 effects at the same time. You can pick which view you want to see here also. If you want to see just the notes, you can see all 8 tracks at the same time. If you want to see just what instrument is being triggered, just what effects, or if you want a couple of them at the same time, or just all of them, that will limit you to 4 tracks on the screen at the same time. And this is like, it is for you if you really like pressing keyboard buttons. Some people want to get away from that and get more hands-on with the music, but this is for people who actually like to program their shit step by step. And sometimes I enjoy sitting down and doing that because, you know, it's a different type of workflow, and you tend to think about things in a different way. You experiment in a different manner, and it becomes, to me, a pretty relaxing thing. It's the same thing with LSDJ for me. It sucks when you're trying to record something live. Honestly, that's not what it's going to look like most of the time. You can use these pads to punch the notes in, and you can quickly edit like this. But most of the time, that's what it's going to look like. Since you can only play one note on one track at one time, it has some weird behavior where it skips over into other lanes. I'll show that in a minute. I'm enamored with this type of digital lo-fi sound. If I want to make something with a tracker like this, I want it to sound like some real Amiga shit. And apart from sampling, which you can do here, it's got a line in for sampling directly from the Amiga to get that real authentic sound. It does have some handy effects. For example, in the sample editor right here, you have, for example, the bit crusher. Select this effect, set it to 8 bits, and let's say we're sampling around 11 kilohertz. And then you have to apply it. This is another thing about it. Sample editing is actually destructive. One thing I would like there to be in here was a simple way to just copy samples. Just grab this sample, hold shift, I don't know, copy the motherfucker straight away so I can do some different things with it, because once you apply an effect, you're actually applying the effect to that sound. It's loaded in the project, so you still have your micro SD card and you can load it up again. But in order to do that, you need to actually load up multiple instances of it. So you need to go into the sample loader, pick the slot, go into the samples, go into the Game Man sound kit by BLEZ Beats. It sounds like Game Man. And fill up multiple instrument slots. It's not very convenient. Let me load up a new project and show you what I mean with the pain in the ass thing about recording things on the fly. So yeah, I'm adding the snare. Oh yeah, you can sample the radio too. That's fucking awesome. See, in the sample recorder, we have the line in, radio, mic. It doesn't have a built-in microphone, but you can plug a microphone in there. Low gain or high gain, that's the different settings for it. So yeah, you can just go nuts with different samples and experiment. And who did? I recommend you watch some videos by Ricky Tinez. Ben Jordan, I know he did some videos where he's sampling the radio, which is always a great thing, because then you can have an empty palette. You just grab something off the radio and you get some wavetable sounds from that, and it becomes a very unpredictable, fun process to make beats. We're not going to do that today. I'm just telling you what I feel. Right, so we have a snare, kick, and a hi-hat from the Game Man sound kit. Oh, real, authentic Game Boy sounds. And then we have some sort of a tonal technology. So let's put this pattern together. Hold the instrument and choose our kick. Boom. Record. It's a little bit low. And we will use the next track for our snare. This is shit, it's just for demonstrationalizing purposes. Hi-hat, very loud right now. I'll take this moment to show you that each instrument has its own parameters too, so you can change some global values like the volume, for example. Alright, let's just fill this motherfucker up. Actually, we can use this fill function. Oh, yeah, that's right. Now, we have to do the selection. See, you can do some fun stuff there. It's playing different notes. I don't know what I did. Playing different notes right now from D6 to D sharp 6 to C2. All right, so we're so happy with our drum pattern there, and now we want to start recording some chords even. So let's use these 3 tracks for it. Pick our instrument. See what does it sound like. We want to record that live, and you would expect it to be very smooth and simple. Let's just run it. See, now we're recording. Actually worked fine now, but let's... Okay, now, imagine I just want to stay on this track now and just play a monophonic melody. So this happens a lot. I don't know why. It seems to work pretty fine right now, but this happens a lot when you're trying to record a monophonic thing. It feels a little bit unpredictable. It would be nice to just lock this track and tell it, no, you're not allowed to record anywhere else but on track 7 right now when I'm doing this. Please fix that. Unless it's already there. I don't know. Another nice thing is you can actually load up old mod files. You can import mod files. It works a little bit so-so. I'd say about 50% success rate for me so far. I try to load up some old classics just for listening to them. And it's beautiful to just grab them. You see it's a little bit off right here. The volumes are all... What's going on there? But you can steal sounds from old mod files like that. So I just imported a big old library of mods that I downloaded from Mod Archive. Just a great trip of nostalgia. Yeah, it doesn't always work great. Better! Even threw some Super Nintendo sounds in here. I've had it for about 2 months now, and I have to admit, it was a bit of a crush. You know, where it's like, it turns out to be like a collector's thing that just sits there, kind of like a model train. I had a lot of fun with it, and it was a unique experience, but when it comes to hardware, I keep coming back to the Maschine, you know what I'm saying? I do believe that the people who are truly into the tracker workflow will absolutely love this machine. But for me, I'm selling this cutie pie on to someone who needs it better, you know what I'm saying? Great work by the Polyend team, and I'm amazed at how fast they're rolling out updates for this. That is another pro. They're continuously working on this product right now. If trackers is your #1 go-to way of making music, I suggest you go and pick this up. I will give this 7 out of 10 amazing. Big one shout out to RIZZLA Beats for the dope animations that you've seen. He's quite the talent. You can find him in our Discord, The Black Hole, if you have any business inquiries or if you want to join the weekly beat challenge. Who knows? We are welcome to you there. Okay, bye. Okay, bye.